welcome to another week of the wonderful world of dodgy movies. I'm your host, Movie and TV Mistress. This week I watched
Maximum Overdrive!
I really thought I'd got that sorted. Actually, I watched Trucks. So, this week I watched a Stephen King inspired film that should really be called Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive!
Sorry. But unfortunately, no, it's the TV movie Trucks from the 90s. Whereas Maximum Overdrive had Stephen King directing, and it was based on his short story called Trucks, and every electrical item came to life and attacked human beings. In Trucks, it's only trucks that come alive, including toy trucks.
Very cute. All right, kids, come on out right now. Ah! Son of a bitch! Come on out of here, you kids! Oh.
That scene you just saw is probably the funniest thing you'll see in the entire movie. The rest of this movie is just dull. I like the actors in it. You've got the guy who was in West Wing, and he was also a nerd in Revenge of the Nerds. He's your main guy. He has a son, and he moved from Detroit to avoid his kid joining gangs, and they now own a truck stop. So the only similarities between this and Maximum Overdrive are really a truck stop and trucks. We're missing Amelia Estevez. We're missing Lisa Simpson, voice actress. We're missing great character actors and a decent soundtrack. And we're missing Stephen King being called an asshole by a hole in the wall, or as the Americans call it, an ATM machine. Apparently this is closer to the short story, but I don't see it. Yes, it has a similar sort of ending. No, it really doesn't. So the end of the short story involves the main character, who would have been Amelia Estevez in the original, but is the nerd in this one, ruminating to themselves and thinking, I bet you the planes up in the sky aren't even manned. And at the end of this movie, it turns out a helicopter is unmanned, and it causes confusion because people sort of look at this film and go, okay, I'm okay with it up until the point of the helicopter rescuing them. And I get that. Why would a helicopter rescue humans if it's an unmanned killing machine? I have no answer for that. I also have no answer for why at the end of Maximum Overdrive they get on a boat. At least with Maximum Overdrive they explain the reason that the trucks and all the electrical items have come to life is due to a meteor that's crossed over and is causing that green glow in the sky. You know, the classic Stephen King meme of green glows. This one doesn't even have a religious person who's, you know, going on about religion, as you always get in Stephen King. It doesn't even have an alcoholic or a writer or an English teacher. No, none of that. It's so tame, so dull, so boring that it's actually a tough watch, because you sit there going, is it going to pick up? They have this moment in the diner part of the truck stop, which I was like so excited for, because I saw the electric carving knife on the counter and I went, ooh, ooh, yeah, do it, go on, do it again. Because that was a classic scene in Maximum Overdrive where the carving knife came to life and cut someone's arm. No, the most gore you get in this film is from that toy truck that I showed you earlier. That's the main gore of this movie. The special effects are awful. And also, the main truck, though it is a killer truck and it comes back after it's been blown up, which is pretty awesome, I feel like it would have been so much better if it had been the one from the Stephen King Maximum Overdrive film with the Green Goblin's face on it, because that was terrifying. It is the same make of truck as that one, but you know what? Stephen King, as much as everyone berates the film Maximum Overdrive for being a badly made horror film and badly directed by Stephen King, in comparison, Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive is a work of genius in comparison to Trucks. I mean, even the title is lame. That's how I came across it. I was flicking through Amazon going, what am I going to watch tonight? I don't know. Oh, Trucks. Click into it. The synopsis reads, a truck stop overrun by trucks, based on a Stephen King short story. My response was, I've seen this, it's called Maximum Overdrive, but I'll give it a go. Let's see if they can do any better than Stephen King did with his own short story. No, Stephen King did it better. I love the fact that probably the equivalent to the toy truck killing someone in Trucks is probably the scene where the guy is killed by a can flying out of a vending machine into his head. This movie is just... it just doesn't work. It's not scary, there's no intimidation, there's no real threat. I know people die, characters die in the film, but you don't care because there's no empathy for any of the characters. They're all just annoying people. The only people you actually care about is the nerd, the lady who runs a UFO tour, because apparently this truck stops near Area 51, which explains everything, because it must be aliens, who was in Hot Shots Part 2. She had a mole that she gave to Charlie. Anyway, those are the only people we care about. Her, Nerd, and Nerd's son. Yeah, I've forgotten the actors' names. I'm very bad this week. I'd lost interest. I just don't care. I'll put them up. I would rather watch Emilio Estevez and Stephen King's own interpretation of his story than this ever again, because at least there was, you know, it wasn't just trucks that were trying to kill people, it was everything electrical. There was a pinball machine in this at one point, or a computer game machine, and I was so going, ooh, is that going to kill that guy like it did in Maximum? Nope. And if you're going to make a movie, I know it was a TV movie, but if you're going to make a TV movie, even based on Stephen King, at least put some gore in it. At least put some suspense and some tension into it. There was no tension. There was no suspense. I mean, the most tense it got was probably the bit where the two kids are in a drainage pipe and the trucks are pumping exhaust fumes into it. but then the trucks stop as soon as they see the nerd and let the kids out. And don't kill them or even attempt to. My opinion? Avoid trucks. Watch Maximum Overdrive. It's a much better movie. And let's everyone just forgive Stephen King for Maximum Overdrive and actually accept he did a really good job. He had AC/DC, he had Emilio Estevez, he had an ATM calling him an asshole. You know, everything that was awesome about that film is still awesome, and it's a better movie. So, that's this week's review. Next week, I have not yet decided, but I have some suggestions, which is very nice. Thank you very much, Rob. And I might consider that and something else. But you'll have to wait and see. So, I think I've fixed it.
Maximum Overdrive!
Okay. Bye, everyone. Be careful what you watch. There's a lot of dodgy movies out there.